I mean, there's so many things. I mean, I still enjoy playing Magic the Gathering, which is very nerdy. I also really enjoy going to people's homes and letting them know all the way that their Wi-Fi is insecure and the devices that I can get to. Like, I just pull it up and I'm like, did you know that I can see everything on your Roomba and get to all your stuff through that? And they're like, shut up. So I'm Jason Breede. I grew up near Chicago in a little town called Johnsburg, Illinois, which was a stone's throw away from the border with Wisconsin. Hobbies, again, I have a million hobbies that I pick up and then put down, but I really enjoy making computers, motorcycle riding, bicycle riding. I've been doing a lot of bike riding since COVID started, and then just like nature. I take a lot of bird pictures with my fancy camera. So commissioning is really about checking all your building's functional systems, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, to make sure that you get the performance that you're expecting to get out of the building when the project is complete. Early on in the process, we're making sure that the design team is capturing all the information they need to capture, they're communicating everything they need to communicate in the design, and then we're ensuring that that is actually installed and operating as intended. The project types that are most beneficial are the really complex ones. As we're approaching net zero and these really complex systems, those are systems that designers haven't designed a lot of, contractors haven't installed a lot of, and especially the facilities group hasn't run a lot of those projects. So commissioning can really help tie those all together and ensure that the facility team has a good foundation to work from. But additionally, with all the different use types that are happening right now, where buildings have to be adaptable to a lot of different potential futures that they're going to use, that adds complexity to the system. And so we can test those use cases ahead of time to ensure that they'll be successful, even though the building might not be used in that way right now. Communication is key, as we've learned sort of throughout life, but especially in understanding what the project purpose is, really helps the entire team drive towards that. So if we all understand that this is a hospital for neonatal patients and here are some really critical things, then we can all drive to making sure that happens. And I think sometimes there are projects where the majority of the team working on it doesn't fully understand the intent behind the building, behind the project, and so it makes it hard to obtain focus and to really dig into the things that'll make that successful. These are systems that not everyone has worked on, right? It might be one of the first times the designer is really implementing a certain strategy and the contractor installing that system, and then the owners and the facility operators running that system. And so you have all of these people new to these types of systems and not really sure of their footing. Is this going correctly? Is this sort of an acceptable variation? Is this something we need to be worried about? And so helping to bring clarity at every step of the way is a part that commissioning really play in that. We can say, hey, this is an okay delta T for this system, even though previously you might not have ever seen something like that. Like, this is okay, you can trust that we can move forward. Or, hey, we think there's an issue here, we should really focus on this now so that it doesn't become a bigger issue later. So many places we go to right now that need an energy audit, that want some help with their systems, they have no data for us to look at. They have no trending in their BMS system, so we can't help them until they do that. And I think at the very least nowadays that should be part and parcel of just having a building, is making sure you have robust controls and really good data and metering in place so that we can help you as the building progresses in its life. I realize that engaging the commissioning agent super early isn't always practical, but as early as possible. And I think what I will say is if you don't have a commissioning agent on board by the time you hit construction documents, your first phase of CD, you are behind. The direction that most people want it to go is technology and how are we using remote testing and all of these things. But I actually think the future of commissioning is embedded commissioning personnel with the big clients, right? If you're doing more than $100 million worth of capital construction work every year, you should have a commissioning specialist on your payroll, or at least a captive commissioning agent. We do embedded work with a lot of big clients because it is so important, and to have somebody that understands commissioning and can help drive that train internal, because we all know internal politics and stakeholders, it can be complicated, and if you're an external consultant, navigating that, helping drive, that's really difficult. But if you're doing that much construction work, having an embedded commissioning agent is the number one thing you can do. I'm excited that there are more clients we're engaging with who come to us with an understanding of commissioning, understanding its value, and asking really pertinent questions about the commissioning process and the value they're going to get out of it.